I don't care. I just don't care what ravages my internal organs. For my mind is fixed on higher matters, on survival, on avoiding Admiral Jawbreaker, by the celestial stars above, the benevolent heavens themselves. If I really get sick, truly, unequivocally, catastrophically ill, sick beyond all reasonable medical repair, then someone else, some other poor, unsuspecting wretch, would have to face the Admiral, the Iron Jaw, the great white menace of military inspections. Oh, wait a minute, you say. A flicker of something, akin to a mad glint, a spark of sheer, unadulterated, nefarious genius, appeared in his eyes, chasing away the cloud of self-pity and terror. He stopped pacing abruptly, suddenly still, the frantic energy momentarily draining from him. The clattering of paperwork, the stifling heat, the relentless buzz of cicadas, the impending doom, all seemed to coalesce into a single brilliant, nefarious, utterly audacious idea. His face transformed, a malevolent grin slowly spreading across his features, transforming him into a malevolent caricature, a tropical Mephistopheles. If I was sick, he mused, tapping his cigar stub, which he had somehow retrieved from the floor, with a newly invigorated intensity, the sound of sharp, percussive crack in the stifling silence. Genuinely, catastrophically, undeniably sick, then I could appoint an acting base commander. Couldn't I? A temporary replacement, a suitable scapegoat, a sacrificial lamb to absorb the full brunt of the Iron Jaw's fury. Right? Lieutenant Quickstep? That's perfectly within regulations, isn't it? A temporary incapacitation. Say an unexpected, highly contagious, extremely debilitating, but ultimately non-fatal tropical fever. The kind that renders one completely helpless, but ultimately capable of a full recovery, just after the Admiral has departed. A fever that peaks at the precise moment of maximum strategic advantage. He punctuated his words with a dramatic, hacking cough that sounded suspiciously like a dying walrus attempting to clear its throat. A truly Oscar-worthy performance, complete with rattling breaths and strained groans. Quickstep, ever the regulations man, ever the obedient automaton of naval procedure, nodded hesitantly, tried to access his mental database of emergency provisions, searching for the exact subparagraph that dealt with strategic incapacitation. Oh, yes, sir. Within emergency provisions, such a course of action is, indeed, entirely within parameters. Yes, a temporary transfer of command for medical reasons. Most certainly. The regulations allow for such flexibility in times of extreme exigency. His mind immediately went to the chain of command, sorting through who the logical, most competent, and therefore least likely to enrage Jawbreaker choice might be. Perhaps himself, or Lieutenant Commander Higgins from Supply, a notoriously timid but efficient man, known for his ability to accurately count every grain of rice on the island. He certainly would not have picked the man Bumble was thinking of, not in a million years. But Bumble wasn't listening. He was already spinning the intricate web of his genius, a masterpiece of self-preservation and malicious delegation. His mind, often likened to a sluggish bilge pump, a repository of bureaucratic detritus, had, on this rare occasion, decided to function like a supercharged centrifuge, spinning off plans with terrifying speed and precision. And I want you to know, Lieutenant, he declared, striking a heroic pose that unfortunately highlighted the tightness of his tunic, which threatened to burst at the seams, that I am ready to accept the supreme test of finding an appropriate sacrificial lamb for Iron Jaw Jawbreaker, a suitable patsy to absorb the full force of the Admiral's righteous wrath. And I know just a man, Quickstep, just a man, who will undoubtedly cause an unparalleled display of administrative ineptitude, a man whose mere presence can cause regulations to spontaneously combust, a man who is the antithesis of everything Jawbreaker holds dear. He paused, a mischievous grin stretching across his purple face. transforming him into a malevolent caricature. Not Julian, not Lieutenant Quickstep. No, 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 no. He rubbed his hands together with a truly diabolical glee, the sound dry and conspiratorial, like rustling leaves in a graveyard or a serpent slithering through dry grass. Commander Finian Fimmigini, that rogue, that insubordinate rascal, that irreverent scoundrel, with McGinty and his scallywags, his motley collection of reprobates and ne'er-do-wells, his rabble of rum-swilling, rule-breaking misfits in charge of Coral Cove Atoll, for a mere afternoon, a paltry few hours. They will run wild. They will dismantle this base board by board. They will desecrate every sacred naval regulation. They will absolutely and definitively destroy themselves right in front of the Admiral. It's absolutely brilliant. Quickstep. Utterly, staggeringly, undeniably brilliant. A masterpiece of strategic delegation and inspire revenge. They will hang themselves with their own laxity. Bumble peered at his reflection in the dusty, salt-encrusted mirror hanging crookedly on the wall, an unflattering representation of his florid face and bulging eyes. He adjusted his already askew cap, attempting to project an air of tragic dignity, to enhance his carefully cultivated image of the dying hero. He exaggerated a cough that sounded suspiciously like a dying walrus attempting to clear its throat, a truly authentic, rattling sound, and feigned a tremble in his hand, holding it out for inspection. Uh-huh, I do look sort of sick to you, don't I? All right. A pallor, Quickstep. A decided pallor. The pallor of impending doom. I am a vision of profound debilitation. The very. Picture a man at death's door. He tilted his head, adopting what he believed was a look of profound, feverish debilitation. A look that bordered on the grotesque. Quickstep, caught completely off guard by the sheer audacity of the scheme, by the breathtaking villainy of the plan, found himself nodding vigorously, his eyes wide, his carefully constructed military composure threatening to shatter. He felt a bead of sweat trickle down his temple, tasting of salt and fear, a cold, clammy drop. Yes, sir. Terribly sick, sir. Utterly, spectacularly unwell. Commodore. In fact, sir, with that particular shade of purple on your countenance. You almost look feverish. Quite alarmingly so, sir. Your coloring is quite striking. Sir, don't you think you'd better call the medics, sir? Right away, sir, with utmost haste. Sir, before your constitution completely gives way, before your very being dissolves into a puddle of sickness on your office floor. He even added an extra earnest emphasis to the terribly sick part, trying desperately to match the Commodore's dramatic flair, to become an accomplice in this grand charade of illness. Excellent. Quickstep. My boy. On the double. Don't stand there gawking at my imminent demise. Man, time is of the essence. Bumble's voice cracked theatrically, dissolving into another paroxysm of feigned coughs, each one a masterclass in pulmonary distress. Chippy, Chippy, he yelled, attempting to appear faint, his voice now a mere whisper, weak and gasping. It's Commodore Bumble. Hurry. He's not well. He's succumbing to the tropical scourge. Quick. On the double. Chuckles. I think I'm going to pay a terrible price for my dedication to duty. A heavy, tragic toll. His voice trailed off dramatically, his eyes rolling back in his head with an entirely unconvincing, theatrical lurch as he aimed for a graceful collapse onto his desk, hoping to fall with the dignity of a dying swan. Chippy, always eager to please, always a step behind in grasping the Commodore's convoluted intentions, misheard the final, dramatic word. Oh, sir, you're going to pay, he echoed, a confused frown creasing his young brow, his glasses slipping further down his nose. He fumbled frantically through his pockets, his uniform rustling, as if the Commodore was asking for a personal loan or some kind of last-minute bribe from his meager earnings. My meager earnings, sir? Are they required for your recovery? I only have a few pesos, sir, mostly in small change. He was too busy searching for coins to notice the trajectory of the collapsing Commodore. Oh, sir, you didn't say to catch you. Just as Bumble performed his elaborate stage